Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, the normies, they're going to be piling into XRP because it's just a natural progression of things when it comes to investing. So there's a couple key things I want to share with you in this video. There's a particular comment, and this will be a little bit towards the end part of the video, but there's a particular comment from Caitlyn Long, who is the founder and CEO of Custodia Bank, which is a crypto-first bank. And she's absolutely anticipating the quote-unquote normies to be jumping in. So these would be the types who, perhaps they're no-coiners. We all used to be no-coiners at one point. And look, there's definitely broad expectation that you're going to have the masses truly jump into crypto because there's only a minority of humans here right now, with about 4% of humans in Bitcoin, far less than 1% of humans in XRP. But this has always been the expectation. It's just been that we've been, with each cycle, getting big bursts of people that jump in. And so I used to be one of the normies. I used to be a no-coiner myself. You know, I jumped into crypto in 2017, but you better believe in the earliest of days, whether you're talking 2010, 11, 12, 2013, 2014, 2015, throughout the entirety of this, there have been people that have been saying, the herd is coming. The normies out there who don't know anything about this crazy magic internet money, they will be here, and they're correct. And I, at one point, before I was in crypto, was one of the normies that they would have been talking about. And I am here, and I did stick around. And there's a whole bunch more people on the planet that if they knew about this, they'd be thrilled beyond belief just like we are. They just don't know about it yet. This is not something that's broadly known or understood. Even if on the peripheral, somebody is aware that there's something called Bitcoin or something called crypto that exists, they haven't necessarily looked into it. Almost nobody has. We are here first, and we are very fortunate. You listening to this right now in 2023 are part of a very select crew of people, a small, like truly small minority of humans that are aware of what's going on, that are actually in the know. And I'm telling you, the normies are about to pile in, and it's going to be ballistic. And there's all sorts of, there's rumors leaking out now about behind the scenes. So I can't speak to the validity of it, but in particular, if I'm going to share rumors with you, I try to keep it towards sources that are known to be reputable. But there's an inside source from the SEC allegedly that says, yes, this thing is coming. As far as the approval for the Bitcoin ETF. And again, it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing, but still, I think over a prolonged period of time, as I've been saying over the last few weeks quite a bit, even if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news thing, it's real. This is a real financial product that requires real Bitcoin. It's going to be good for the entire crypto asset class. Real money will flow in. There's going to be over 100,000 salespeople on Wall Street selling various Bitcoin ETF products as they get approved. So over a span of years and decades, oh my gosh. And that's why people are anticipating you're going to have an asset class eventually in the tens of trillions of dollars here. Now, at the time I'm recording this, XRP is 61 cents, Bitcoin at 38,790 bucks, but I will note that Bitcoin did breach $39,000, and it was very briefly, and it wasn't on every single exchange, but it did breach $39,000 today, which it hadn't done in quite a while. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index now at 74 out of 100, so we're in greed mode. Shouldn't surprise anybody here. And here's some news from on-chain analytics firm Sentiment. They do some fantastic work here. And this afternoon they posted the following. As Jerome Powell announced Fed interest rates will be staying put for now, Bitcoin nearly scraped $39,000. And again, as I just stated, depending on where you're looking, it actually did breach $39,000. Live Coin Watch is reporting that it did. And then they write, as a bonus, attention has increasingly been on Bitcoin instead of altcoins, representing enough fear typically needed for prices to continue rising. And that's fine. Look, I'm happy to have the focus be on Bitcoin because historically Bitcoin has always led the way, and then XRP and everything else follows. I'll stick with what worked. I'm happy to see that what has worked in the past is still in place. Let's just keep that because then there's not a question mark. There's not an additional unknown here. And I don't need to read this article. It's just a headline from CNBC. Fed Chair Powell calls talk of cutting rates premature and says more hikes could happen. Now, this might sound counterintuitive to many, but this is actually a good thing. And the fact I'm about to share with you, I first saw shared by my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. And since then, I looked into it further and seen that a number of other reputable sources have pointed out this data, and it's absolutely true. Because there's this widely held belief, which is false, that once rate cuts begin from the Fed, that's going to be a good sign because, hey, the inflation's under control, you can bring down the rates, everything's good now. Not so fast, though. The data shows that when that happens, it's because things are already off the rails. The economy is already falling apart, and they lower the interest rates. The Fed would lower the interest rates in an attempt to spur more economic activity, to make money cheaper. But by the time they do that, historically, it's already been too late, and it's recession time ultimately. That's what it leads. So the reason I wanted to share this is because, if they're saying right now, they're warning there could be more hikes, even though it's just staying flat right now. If you don't want to, if they were saying, yeah, we could be cutting rates soon, or if they did cut, I'd be a little bit more alarmed, because historically that means we're about to see some bad times. And right now everybody's expecting Moontown. Are we going to end up with our Lambos on the moon, or are we not? So if we start seeing rates cut, that's bad. And again, obviously, you're talking about economic activity here that would have obviously an impact on stocks, and we know that since stocks, risk on assets, treated the same as risk on assets in the world of crypto. If equities get hit, stocks are going or crypto is going to get hit too. Historically, that's always been the case. If it ever decouples, great, super duper. That's not reality right now. Just saying. So actually, in that sense, happy to see this. I would love for us to at least, and look, if they're going to cut rates at some point, I would love for us to at least get through another cycle so we can make our life-changing wealth, and then they can do whatever they want to screw up the economy. Because I'm gonna try and do some things, to make sure that I'm least hit compared to the way that it might be. More on that in a separate video, perhaps, because that's outside the realm of what I want to talk about here. But here's a post from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and this one was from early in the AM today, December 1st. This is a Bitcoin USD chart. And he said, and he's talking about Bitcoin, here's kind of a quick update of what's going on. So this is before, of course, Bitcoin ran to $39,000 ultimately today. Low time frame update on Bitcoin. Long story short, no change here. Still think a test of $36,500 is likely. We are about to take our local highs again, but once again we are seeing perps leading the rally, spot takers net selling, funding rising, and open interest making new local highs. None of which is generally ideal for a sustainable breakout. Lots of long liquidations below, and I think it's highly likely they will get run before a true breakout. So that was one post. So he was warning of a potential move to the downside, which could still happen. We haven't had some sort of runaway, even though it was nice to see Bitcoin above 39,000 for a little bit. Then there was this post several hours or so later, and from Credible Crypto again, Bitcoin USD chart on your screen, and he said, and there we are back below the local highs again. Liquidations haven't started yet, but push a bit lower here, and they should. So he still thinks that that's something that's particularly probable even at this point in time. Now, we haven't seen it yet, and it's not a guarantee, but he thinks that that's going to potentially happen. If we do, that's a healthy sign so far as he's concerned. So if we see Bitcoin go down by thousands all of a sudden, that's not some sort of doomsday scenario. It's not a the sky is falling moment. It's within the realm of what he thinks is healthy and reasonable, and we still see a move to the upside. And we could have another day where, we've seen this before, where you have recently we had a 5,000 candle Bitcoin candle one day, right? We recently had that. And, a day where you're up by over $10,000 or in very short order, not outside the realm of possibility here. And now, in terms of the natural order of things, and stick with me because you're going to love this post, because I'm telling you, if you're human, and I know you are, then you've had the feels when it comes to investing. And I have too. It's okay to admit that. I just don't anymore. I am basically a robot at this point. The last time I felt any emotions over my investments in crypto was in August of 2018. That was the last time. And I've told the story before, so I won't again now. But that was the last time. And eventually I let the logic sink in, and then it's just facts, logic, data, because that's what's most important to me. And then you go through it enough, you're like, yeah, this is the natural order of things. But people do still get hit with the feels. And I'm telling you, you're a piece. Like, we're all pieces of this machine. We're it sounds like cogs in the machine, effectively, if you want to. I mean, that sounds quite negative, but it's kind of true. Like, we all are. And so I've said many times that part of my investment strategy is I'm counting on humans to continue to act completely ridiculous, and in many instances not in their self-interest, because I'm going to be betting against them, and I think that'll be good for me. That's basically it. So what I'm talking about is emotional buying and selling, getting in and out of positions, FOMOing into stuff, all that crap. So when they FOMO in, great, they can be my exit liquidity. When they're panic selling, great, I can buy stuff on sale. That's the way that I'm looking at it. And there's always going to be these people. This is the natural order of thing. This is not unique to crypto. This is a human thing. It just is. And so the more you're aware of this, and this is just how humans respond, if you start to recognize that you're feeling in a way that would make you be like that, you can just recognize that and then not be like that. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but that's why I want to highlight this stuff on my channel. I am not some sort of financial guru. I'm a regular dude just like all you listening. There is nothing special about me. I got myself under control. I got my feels under control here. And I'm not going to act like the typical lemming retail speculator. I just refuse. I will not do it, and you can be the same if you so choose. You get to. And so what I'm going to share with you is something from TXMC. He's formerly with Glassnode, which is a fantastic firm that does on-chain analytics. I'm a gigantic fan. And he just lays it out. It just matter-of-fact stuff. Here's the order of things. Here's how it works. And this is why I'm telling you, especially since we know the asset class moves in tandem, as the normies come in, they're going to pile into XRP. They're going to pile into all sorts of things, but most importantly for us, because this is an XRP-centric YouTube channel, XRP specifically. And it happens to be my largest holding, and I'm sure that's true for many of you listening here. This is how things work. Humans are going to act the same with their stupid-ass emotions, whether it's XRP or Bitcoin or pick your crypto here. And so here's what he had to say. Long-term holders typically spend their coins right as, or just after, price breaks new high, not 50% below. And I want to pause to note, when he says long-term holders typically spend, we're talking about movement of the coin. So they could be moving it to sell it on an exchange. And so that's what he's saying. When he says spend, that's what he's talking about. It doesn't mean that he's going to a website where you can buy stuff with Bitcoin or pick your crypto. Right? He's just saying it's moving, right? So again, he says long-term holders typically spend their coins right as, or just after, price breaks new high, not 50% below. It is normal to see lower levels of churn and supply predominantly aging when price is below prior highs. And so, folks, this is just saying, because obviously, as there's capitulation after every, it's part of every market cycle. There's capitulation. We got the bear market. This is when people swoop in. I've swooped in multiple times now in multiple bear markets, buying stuff up. And if you're buying there, then when the prices go higher, like it takes a certain level for you to respond and think, okay, yeah, I'm sufficiently enticed. That's effectively what he's saying right here. This is the natural order of things. We don't have to question, is this going to happen? This is how humans behave. Unless you think that crypto is going to cease to exist and go to zero, okay, fine. I think that's wacky. And I don't think you guys believe that either. So if we don't believe that, then we know that this is what's going to occur, correct? Right. See, this is one of the many reasons I sleep. Like, once you just use facts, logic, and reason, just look at the data, it's easy to sleep at night if you just understand, and you understand the utility behind it, if you get the big picture. And then he says, if we were seeing activity out of old coins right now, it would be anomalous and potentially concerning, depending on the scale of it. Their idleness is natural here. And so, folks, again, he's just indicating it's normal for people who have held a long time. They're just going to keep holding because they have the strong conviction. They understand how the market works. They're waiting to make their move. They're waiting to pounce. They're waiting for the prices to go higher and for there to be sufficient exit liquidity. That's pretty much it, which is basically old hands selling to new hands, as he later says. So check this out. These same long-term holders will spend again at new highs whenever they arrive, paying themselves for enduring the bear and taking on risk. You may choose not to sell, but many others will, as they do in every cycle. And so, folks, this will be the cycle when we get there, where I will be selling the vast majority of my crypto, if not all of it. We'll see exactly what happens. We'll see. There's a lot of moving parts to this, so it's not a guarantee for me. But that's what I'm looking to do here. And yes, I will be paying myself for now having taken this risk for over 6 years. I could not have stronger conviction in what I'm doing, though. I sleep super easy at night. And my net worth is much higher than it would have been had I not jumped into crypto. Unquestionably. But I am taking a risk. Some people think this stuff is crazy, and I don't. I know it's not. I think that they're just uninformed. And this is the no-coiners. It's the normies. They'll come around, right? They'll pile into XRP, right? That's what I think. But yes, you better believe I'm going to pay myself. Just as happened in the cycle where I jumped in, there were people buying XRP close to $4. And there were people that bought it at half a penny, and they were paying themselves for taking on substantial risk. As they should. That's fine. If that's what the market will bear, great. And so if people are going to buy my XRP at $5, $6, $7, $8, maybe it goes higher. Maybe it's $10, $12, whatever it is. Great. Old hands to new hands, rinse and repeat, and then they can do it next time when it gets higher if they're sufficiently enticed. That's the way the market works. This is not unique to crypto. It's more volatile and there's way more opportunity for life-changing wealth in crypto. This happens in equities, though. This happens in precious metals. This is how humans behave. It's just on steroids with crypto. The timeline is so much faster compared to traditional finance. That's why in a relatively short time period, for me it's been over 6 years, fine, but that's what I'm looking at getting ultimately when this is said and done. It would have taken decades in traditional finance. Like, you kidding me? This is crazy. Now, I still have to see this through, and there's opportunity for this to go off the rails, and maybe I end up becoming a sad panda. But if it keeps going like this, and we have another cycle, and I get what I think I'm going to get, then yeah. This is just the natural order of things. And then he says, this is a good thing. Old hands distributing to new hands is a fundamental aspect of a healthy market and a key force in a bull. And he shared this. This is a post he shared literally just yesterday. And it just hits the nail on the head. And I just think it cuts through some of the emotions that people feel when it comes to investing. This is how humans behave. They're going to keep behaving like this. So unless you have a fear that a particular coin or crypto in general is going to zero, and okay, fine. I mean, some coins will go to zero. A lot of coins will, I think. Most. But unless you think that's going to happen, or if you are not a believer and maybe crypto is going to go to zero, which I do not for a moment believe, okay, be fearful. You be fearful all you want, but I'm just telling you, outside of that, why be fearful? This is it. We know more humans are coming. BlackRock is here, the largest asset manager on the planet. They're here. You know, that's not on a whim. You had Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, saying that crypto, not Bitcoin, said crypto is a flight to value. This is here to stay, period. There is no reason to be fearful. Make smart, informed decisions. You can buy, you can sell. I don't care. I'm not offering financial advice for you because I don't know your situation, and I would never want that responsibility. But if you're looking big picture, which is what I'm talking about, yeah. This is incredible. It's an incredible opportunity. Now take a look at this. This is from Andrew. This is a well-known account in the world of crypto. He's been reposted by John Deaton, some of the biggest names, including Caitlyn Long, which you'll see in just a second here, talking about the normies. And we were all normies at once. Now we're weirdos, I guess. I don't know. That's fine. I'm weird. Whatever. Big old dork on the internet playing with magic internet money. It's awesome. So here's what Andrew had to say. Update. And this is from just this morning, by the way. Update. SEC meetings with spot Bitcoin ETF issuers have been voluminous. And he's got 3 bullet points. Number 1, and this is the most interesting one as far as I'm concerned. SEC source, 99% approval and all at once. Okay, let's pause to say there. As cited at the outset of the video, who's the source? The source isn't named, and that's not surprising, obviously. So, okay, hearsay, whatever, fine. But this is a reputable individual in the world of crypto, which is why Caitlyn Long reposted this, as I'll show you in a second. So it's not a guarantee. But if indeed this is true, my gosh, even if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news, we're going to have a very fun day when the news gets broken that there's a at least one, if not many, spot Bitcoin ETFs getting approved here. And at this point, I've actually, based on recent evidence, I've been persuaded to suppose that what's more likely is rather than BlackRock getting approved, multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs getting approved all at once. And there are a few reasons for this. The most recent one that's developed, I was talking about this the other day, so I don't want to harp on this too much, but it does seem, based on what ETF analysts from Bloomberg have been citing, that it looks like the SEC is actually trying to line things up in such a way, the way in which that they're delaying certain applications. Looks like they're trying to line things up so they can approve them all at once. Otherwise, why are they doing this? And then there's the fact that, and this has never happened before, but there's been all sorts of actual meetings with genuine questions from all sorts of applicants. That is not the norm. So, but it's not just BlackRock. And so you look at this, and that's the one that makes me think that they're likely to just announce a bunch at once, even if it's not all of them, is the fact that they're lining things up to do so. That's the one that was most compelling me. Once I saw that new evidence, which we didn't have weeks ago, once I saw this new evidence, I thought, okay, well, there's an interesting piece of information. I no longer feel the same. So could it just be BlackRock? Okay, sure, I guess. I'm no longer convinced that's most probable, though, because there's new evidence here. So look, we'll have a fun day. It could be a buy the rumor, sell the news thing, like I said, but even if so, I don't care. There's going to be so much money flowing in. We are going to have a fun time. Bullet point number 2, dotted I's and crossed T's across all applications. Number 3, Grayscale doing all it can to be first/conversion based on court decision. So in theory, Grayscale could be first. We'll see if that happens. I'm kind of skeptical, but maybe. So here you have Caitlyn Long, founder and CEO of Custodia Bank, a crypto bank. And she reposted what I just shared with you from Andrew and wrote, if this is true, then as Eric Balchunas predicted yesterday, and by the way, Eric Balchunas, senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg, as Eric Balchunas predicted yesterday, there's going to be an epic marketing war by all the spot Bitcoin ETF issuers. And it's going to be fun watching Normies say, wait, wasn't Bitcoin dead? All ahead of the April halving and US presidential election. And yes, that will be fun. Because how many of the Normies and the no-coiners a year ago were saying, oh, Bitcoin, see, glad I didn't get in that thing. Ugh. You know, I had friends after Bitcoin collapsed, you know, because Bitcoin hit its peak in 2017 in December, close to $20,000. Credit on back down to 3,000. By the time it was down there, close to a year later, I'll never forget one of my friends. I just overheard it. She was speaking to one of my other friends, and she just said, "Oh, glad I didn't get in on that thing." And I just kind of chuckled to myself. Are you sure about that? Because this thing's gonna go ballistic. And that was, again, it was 3,000 and something bucks at that point, and it went to 70,000. So. So, but again, this happens every cycle. So the people that said it was dead then, there were people that said it was dead then. Now there's people that said it was dead a year ago. Here we are. It's obviously not dead. It's a flight to value, as Larry Fink says from BlackRock. Yeah, they're going to be coming. And where are they going to put their money? Well, certainly Bitcoin, but also large cap coins. And just like you figured out that XRP makes sense and has utility and is amazing, it's the best crypto on the planet for payments, just like we all figured this out, and you listening figured this out. New people will figure this out. It's not going to be just us. We're just part of like the initial crew. XRP's been around a decade. There's almost no humans in it. Almost none. Way less than 1%, right? Best estimate we have is less than 1%. There are going to be a lot of new people in this that are going to be learning this. They're going to be just as excited as we are. You know, and they're going to wish they were here sooner. Just like whenever you got in, you wish that you were sooner. Just like I did. I thought, and I wasn't a child about it. I was like, well, I still think we're still early on. I thought that even in 2017. But yeah, it would be nice to have been a few years earlier. Sure. Buy an XRP at half a penny. Yeah, I would have loved that had I known about this. I think I would have been one of the people to, go whole hog on it, like I did ultimately when I finally got in a few years later. But I'm telling you, the normies, they're going to come, and they have money. and the money is going to go to where the value is. The asset class is slowly maturing. XRP is actually valuable and useful. It is the sweet spot in investing in crypto as far as I'm concerned. That's why it's my largest individual holding by a lot. Lots to look forward to, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.